Welcome back to the Deep Dive. It's February 18th, 2025, and the AI world is absolutely buzzing. You've sent in a ton of articles, and we are ready to unpack it all.
I know, right? It's crazy how much is happening even just this week.
So let's jump right in. We've got new companies launching big names, making some interesting moves, and of course, lots of questions about what it all means for us.
Yeah, definitely a lot to dig into.
Okay, so our mission today is to extract the signal from all the noise. What really matters in all this AI frenzy? What should you be paying attention to?
Sounds good. Let's do it.
Okay, so first up, let's talk about Single AI.
Okay.
They just launched with a cool $10 million in funding,
Wow.
and their goal is to help businesses manage and secure all their AI.
That's smart. Yeah, because companies are starting to realize AI is powerful, but it comes with risks too.
Right, exactly. So Single AI's launch is a big signal that AI governance is becoming more and more important.
Definitely, especially as companies rely more and more on AI for their day-to-day operations.
And then we've got Rossum. They just came out with specialized AI agents designed to automate paperwork.
Oh, wow. So even the most mundane tasks are being touched by AI now.
I know. It makes you wonder, what does this mean for the future of work? Are we all going to be out of jobs?
Well, it's not that simple. Some jobs might become obsolete, but
Huh.
new ones will definitely emerge.
True.
People will need to adapt and learn the skills needed in this new AI-driven world.
You've got to be able to roll with the punches.
Exactly.
Okay, let's switch gears a bit and talk about robots. Realbotix just revealed a robotic AI vision system that could make robots look and act even more human-like.
It's pretty wild. I mean, imagine a world where robots are basically indistinguishable from humans.
Kind of creepy, right?
A little bit. It makes you think about how we interact with them and how we treat them.
It definitely blurs the lines.
For sure. This tech is advancing so quickly, we really need to grapple with these questions.
Okay, shifting gears again, let's talk about a familiar name, Elon Musk.
Uh-oh. What's he up to now?
Well, his company XAI just launched GROK 3,
Another one.
and he's calling it the smartest AI on Earth.
Of course he is.
He says it's designed to be maximally truth-seeking.
Truth-seeking is an interesting term when it comes to AI.
How so?
Well, AI models trained on huge data sets, and those data sets can contain biases, so we always need to be careful about claims like that.
Right, because an AI might seem truth-seeking, but really it's just reflecting the biases it's trained on.
Exactly. We have to be critical.
Okay, so it's clear Musk is gunning for the top spot. He wants to take on ChatGPT and DeepSeek. Speaking of DeepSeek, they're making a huge impact in China.
Oh yeah, they're everywhere.
They're not just in electric vehicles anymore. They're expanding into e-scooters and all sorts of other sectors.
They're really becoming a powerhouse. It shows how committed China is to being a global leader in AI.
It's caught the attention of everyone, policymakers, industry experts. The whole world is watching.
And for good reason, there are big economic and strategic implications.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so while DeepSeek is raising some eyebrows about national security, OpenAI is considering going back to open source.
Really? That's a big deal.
I know, right? It could completely change the game for AI development and collaboration.
It would definitely shake things up. Open source could lead to more transparency and collaboration.
Right. Imagine researchers and developers from all over the world working together on OpenAI's models.
It would be amazing for innovation.
But of course, there are always two sides to the coin.
Exactly. We have to think about potential misuse and the need for ethical guidelines.
It's a balancing act.
For sure. Okay, so we've got DeepSeek's dominance in China and OpenAI's potential move back to open source. It's a really interesting time to be following AI.
Absolutely. And those are just two of the major storylines developing right now.
It's incredible how fast things are moving.
Now let's talk about another big name, the New York Times. They're embracing AI tools for their journalists.
Wow, so even journalism is changing.
It is. It's a sign that AI is becoming more and more accepted in newsrooms.
But I'm sure it's not without its critics.
Oh yeah, definitely. Some people are concerned about maintaining journalistic integrity, avoiding bias, and preventing the spread of misinformation.
Those are valid concerns. It's a tricky situation.
It seems like AI is impacting every part of our lives, from how we work to the news we consume.
It's true, and it's only going to become more prevalent.
So what does all this mean for us? Well, first of all, it means we need to stay informed and engaged.
Absolutely. This technology is changing our world. We need to understand it and be a part of the conversation.
We all have a role to play in shaping the future of AI.
Exactly.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground today, but we've only just scratched the surface.
There's always more to explore.
So much more. Stay tuned for part 2 of our deep dive, where we'll delve into the latest from companies like Monday.com, Luminance, and more.
And we'll also get into the ethical and societal implications of all this.
It's going to be a fascinating discussion.
Can't wait. Welcome back to the deep dive. We're going to keep digging into these AI developments, and there's a lot more to uncover.
All right, so let's talk about Luminance. They just got a massive $75 million investment to focus on AI for lawyers.
Wow. That's a lot of money. It shows that AI is getting really specialized, targeting specific industries with tailored solutions.
Makes sense. I mean, think about it. AI agents could help with all that document review and legal research.
Right. It would free up the actual lawyers to focus on the more complex stuff
Exactly. So it's not just replacing jobs, it's changing how we work.
and making things more efficient.
For sure. And speaking of new tools, Aria.ai just launched this platform called Apex.
Apex, what's that?
It's basically a toolkit for building intelligent AI agents.
Interesting. So it's like they're making it easier for anyone to create AI solutions.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's like the democratization of AI. More people and businesses can get in on the action.
I like it. That could lead to a ton of innovation.
Oh, for sure. Speaking of innovation, Sama just released this thing called agentic capture.
Agentic capture, what is that?
It's for multimodal agentic AI.
Multimodal. So these AI agents can handle a bunch of different things at once.
Exactly, like text, images, audio, all kinds of stuff.
Wow, that's a game changer. Imagine an AI agent that can understand what you're saying and see what you're seeing.
It's like something out of a sci-fi movie.
Right? It's incredible. And a little scary, too.
Speaking of a little scary, AI note-takers are starting to change how we do meetings.
Oh, yeah, I've heard about this. It's like having a robot secretary.
Right. Some companies are already using AI to transcribe meeting notes and make summaries.
It makes sense. It would definitely save time and make meetings more efficient.
But what about etiquette? Is it rude to have an AI listening in on your meeting?
That's a good question. And what about privacy? I mean, who has access to those recordings?
It's a slippery slope. Could we end up with AI attending meetings for us, making decisions on our behalf?
That's a pretty wild thought. It's both exciting and a little unsettling.
I know, right? It's like we're stepping into uncharted territory.
We definitely need to be thinking about these ethical implications. As AI gets more advanced, it's crucial to set some boundaries.
Absolutely. Okay, let's shift gears again and talk about OpenAI.
All right, what are they up to now?
Well, word on the street is they're putting all their eggs in the GPT-5 basket.
GPT-5. So they're like combining all their different capabilities into one supermodel.
That's the idea. It's all about building a more unified and powerful AI system.
It makes you wonder what's going to happen to all their other models and features.
Right. Will they all be rolled into GPT-5, or will some of them fade away?
Only time will tell.
And while OpenAI is focusing on GPT-5, Elon Musk is making headlines with GROK 3.
Oh, right. He's calling it the smartest AI on Earth.
But how do you even measure the intelligence of an AI?
That's a good question. There's no one definition or metric.
And what about that whole truth-seeking thing?
Well, we have to remember that AI models are trained on data, and that data can be biased.
So even if an AI seems truth-seeking, it might just be reflecting those biases.
Exactly. We have to be critical and think about where that information is coming from.
It seems like the AI chatbot competition is really heating up.
It is. It's exciting to see all this innovation.
But we can't forget about the potential downsides.
Right. Like that Microsoft study that showed over-reliance on AI might actually be hurting our critical thinking skills.
It's a good reminder that AI should be a tool to help us, not replace us.
Exactly. We need to make sure we're using it responsibly and ethically.
Okay, so far we've talked about a lot of different companies, but there's one big name we haven't mentioned yet, Meta.
Oh, what are they up to?
They're jumping into the robotics game.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yep, they're focusing on AI-powered robots for household chores.
That's interesting. So like robots that can do the dishes and fold laundry?
Exactly, it could totally change domestic life.
Imagine that, coming home to a perfectly clean house every day.
It sounds amazing, but it also raises questions about the future of work in the service sector.
Right. What happens to all the people who do those jobs now?
And how will these robots fit into our families? Will they become like part of the family?
It's a whole new set of challenges and opportunities.
It's definitely something to think about.
For sure. So we've covered a lot of ground in this episode. New companies, funding announcements, AI agents, chatbots, robots. It's a lot to take in.
It is. It's amazing how fast this technology is developing.
And how much it's impacting every part of our lives.
From our work to our homes to our news, it's everywhere.
It's a truly transformative time.
All right, welcome back to the deep dive. For this last part, let's zoom out and look at the bigger picture. The global impact of all this AI stuff.
Sounds good.
And there's one company we really need to talk about, DeepSeek. They're making waves, especially in China.
Yeah, they're definitely one to watch. Their R1 program really shook things up.
What was so special about it?
Well, they achieved some pretty impressive results, but they did it with less sophisticated hardware than everyone expected.
So they're proving you don't need a ton of resources to be a major player in AI.
Exactly. It's changing the game.
And their impact in China is huge. I mean, they're everywhere from electric vehicles to those e-scooters we talked about.
It shows how serious China is about becoming an AI superpower.
Yeah, the whole world is paying attention to DeepSeek's rise. I mean, even national security experts are concerned.
It's understandable. I mean, AI can be used for both good and bad. civilian and military applications.
Right, so DeepSeek's expertise could have implications for things like defense and surveillance.
Exactly. It's something we need to be aware of.
Okay, so DeepSeek is pushing boundaries in China, and meanwhile, OpenAI might be going back to open source. That could have a huge impact, too.
A return to open source would definitely shape things up. It would make AI development much more transparent and collaborative.
I can imagine researchers from all over the world working together on OpenAI's models.
It would be amazing for innovation, but of course there are risks too.
Like what?
Well, without the right safeguards, open source AI models could be misused. Someone could use them to create something harmful, or they could fall into the wrong hands.
So it's a trade-off, more innovation, but also more risk.
Exactly. We need to think carefully about how to manage those risks.
It's a lot to consider. So we've got DeepSeek's rise in China, OpenAI's potential move to open source, two major developments that could reshape the entire AI landscape.
It really highlights how complex this all is. It's not just about technology, it's about economics and politics too.
It's all connected.
Exactly.
Wow. So we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive. We've seen incredible innovations, ambitious companies, and we've talked about some pretty big questions for the future.
It's clear that AI is already changing the world, and it's only going to get more intense.
So what does this all mean for you? Well, I think the biggest takeaway is this: stay informed and stay curious.
I agree. This technology is evolving so rapidly, we all need to keep learning and asking questions.
The future of AI is being written right now, and we all have a role to play in shaping it.
Absolutely. We need to have open conversations about the potential benefits and risks. We need to create ethical frameworks and guidelines.
And most importantly, we need to remember that AI is a tool. It's up to us to use it wisely.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Well, that's all the time we have for today, but this conversation is far from over.
Definitely.
So keep exploring, keep asking questions, and stay tuned for our next deep dive into the world of AI.
See you next time.